Charlie Kirk, political powerhouse, shot dead at Utah Valley University. Founder of Turning Point USA, probably one of the most dominant and strongest voices in the conservative movement. A good man, a man of faith, a man of values that fought for his, Christian Judaic values, a man who was unwavering in his faith and stood for the truth. And I'm over here and I've been praying and hoping in my heart, just like many of you, I'm sure, was hoping for good news. My heart is so heavy. It's not often that, you immediately, I know for myself, immediately react to something like this. I was in the middle of addressing everything now and calling for prayer, and in the midst of me recording this video, this is what happens. I feel very sick right now. But today is one of those moments. Losing Charlie is not just a hit for the conservative world, it's a hit at America. It shows a lot about where we are as a society right now, the political violence. And this is what the media creates. By its disgusting villainization of its political opponents and its calling for violence and calling people Nazis and using rhetoric that stirs up the emotions of, unfortunately, what appears to be a generation that is suffering from a mental health crisis, which is probably due in part by the fact that they're listening to the media outlets that are feeding them this nonsense on a daily. This was a husband. He was a man of faith. He was a fighter for Judeo-Christian values, for the state of Israel. He had moral clarity. Shot while speaking at Utah Valley University. A tour of uplifting and inspiration. Let it sink in. America, let it sink in. For Charlie, let it sink in. A man standing on the stage exercising his God-given right to free speech in a public institution of higher learning in the United States of America, and he was gunned down. This happened in real time, in broad daylight. You've seen the footage, you've seen the joy and the rigor he had and the excitement. And he was just trying to do good. And he was doing good. And to hear this crowd scream and to stampede, the chaos, the horror, this is so hard to watch. And to not feel a cold hand or a grip of fear straight to the heart. This is wow. Big fan of Charlie. And you can't watch this without asking yourself, what has happened to that country? What is happening to the country? I hope that people wake up from this. I genuinely hope. But hate is being festered and it has crept into American society on a deeper level than what people actually could have imagined. These are the days, this is the generation of when good is called evil and evil is called good. This is toxic. This is unimaginable evil that we are dealing with here. There is a demonic force that is sweeping and gripping the young people of America, primarily coming from mainstream media, primarily coming from the radical left. The whole entire fabric of the country, everything it stood for, everything it stands for, is falling apart by the day. And I don't mean to sound as if there's no hope for the future, but all of the chaos, the horror. I want to say this very clearly, even though I'm hurt, I'm in pain. There is no justification whatsoever for political violence. Whatsoever. There is no cause that is so righteous or not righteous that you believe that it deserves a bullet. It ain't self-defense. What are we talking about here? There's no opinion that is so offensive that it should be met with blood. America was built on the principle of us being able to disagree. We can debate. We can even shout at each other. But shoot each other behind some ideas? I disagree with your ideas, so I'm going to shoot you. Charlie was not just some random political figure. He had spent his career speaking into the culture with clarity and with conviction and calling people back to values that were rooted on biblical principle, rooted in tradition, rooted in the Constitution. He's a man that whether you agreed with him or you disagreed with him, he never backed down from the battlefield of ideas. And for that, for daring to speak boldly for his ideas and for his opinions, he was targeted. That's why he had to die. I have to pause. I'm hurt. My heart is heavy, and I didn't know Charlie personally. I'm sad, and I would love to say I'm angry, but I'm not. I'm just grieving, and I feel sick. I know many of you listening feel the same way. This is not about whether you agree with Charlie's politics. This, at this point, is even beyond left and right. As a people, we have to still believe in the rule of law. We have to believe in a civil society and the basic dignity of human life. We are. They're busy talking about aliens and all that being in all this invasion. Society has already been invaded. This is a new, different type of thing, new, different type of person. The rhetoric, and I will be very. I have not lived on before Corona 2020 and the George Floyd and the whole world being shut down. I didn't have the internet for 12, 15 years. Didn't see the news. I didn't see what the weather was going to be. I cannot describe to you that while trying to understand and update and having to set up a studio, having to work from home and set up the kids, had to go to school online, everything of what came forth, and to see where the world has become. I don't recognize it. Many of you who've already been in tune, you were privy to all these things. Thank God I haven't seen a movie and I don't know how long. I only hear about the horrific things that they're doing to the movies and to everything else. And I don't mean to go make this about other things and ideas. But what, in light of what's going on and what happened to Charlie, oh my goodness. It's safe to say that we are living in a brand new reality. And I don't really know what that solution is going to be. I don't know what security measures can be taken. But we're going to have to point this back at mainstream media. We have to point this back at the rhetoric that they spew out, that they dehumanize people who disagree with their opinions. Month after month, day after day, painting conservative voices as fascists, as racists, as literal Nazis. What do you think is going to happen? Calling for the violence. There was a video not too long, I couldn't even share it on WhatsApp because they tried to censor it through WhatsApp. They censored my WhatsApp of showing political leaders on the left calling for all-out violence against Donald Trump. Publicly, open, in a public square, day after day, day after day. I pray with everything for the comfort of Charlie's family. I pray for the comfort of the American people. For those who know what we just lost, and for those who don't know. Because even if you disagree with Charlie, he was fighting for you as well. My hope is that with time, that the radicalization, although the flood is deep, it's in the movies, it's in the music, it's become a part of the culture, this nonsense and rhetoric. But my prayer and my hope is that with time, that these young people, and I don't know anything about the shooter, his name should be erased, and Charlie's blood should be avenged. I pray that with time that these young people go from being youngsters without common sense. I'm not talking about all young people. Obviously, there's a very young crowd there to see Charlie. Go from being people without common sense and grow up to have some common sense before it becomes too late. After what happened here in Jerusalem and the heaviness and the pain, and I had already recorded that video and that podcast, and so hopefully it will come soon. I had to say this right now because it hit me and it was jolting me as well. Hope to get this out, and I just pray for his family, and I pray for better days, not only for America, but here in Israel. And as Charlie was a fighter for the cause of Israel as well, I pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And as always, as I tell my audience, it's Nissim Black, and serve God or live trying. I'm out.